What's up, my Madden Rebuild Warriors? My name is David, and today we are talking about the top 4-3 defensive playbooks in Madden 25. And our number one might just be the best overall defense in all of Madden 25 for Quick Sim. But before we get into the top three, let's get into some playbooks you can use and some playbooks you shouldn't use when dealing with a 4-3 defense for Quick Sim in Madden 25. So a list of playbooks you should stay away from when using 4-3 defenses, because these playbooks just will sink your record and don't hold a lot of stats. You want to stay away from the Saints, the Jets, the Browns, the Bengals, the Bears, the 49ers, and the Texans. Stay away from these playbooks. They're not really going to help you record-wise, and they're certainly not going to give you any stats. Maybe the Texans will get you double digits interceptions, but that's pretty much it. These playbooks, there's just nothing good about them, and I would completely stay away from them when rebuilding my teams in Madden 25. Now, I know some of you like to stick with beating sim and using the playbooks that the team and the coach have. You can only do so much. Those playbooks I just named, I'd stay away from. But these playbooks here, you can use. Cowboys, Chiefs, Commanders, and Colts, pretty much anything with a C. The Colts, I've seen teams consistently have 15-2 records if you build them out correctly. Commanders and Chiefs and Cowboys, winning records and top 10, top 5 in certain stat categories. So they're very usable, and they're just not going to find their way into the top 3 because they don't have the big sack numbers or interception numbers or potential for number one overall defense like these next 3 that we're going to talk about have. So coming in at number 3, we have the Buffalo Bills 4-3 defensive playbook. This is a great playbook. You're going to have a lot of green numbers and stats, and you're going to have a winning record. Top 5 in points allowed. You're going to be top 3 in sacks. Now, you won't be number 1 or number 2 in sacks like you can with our number 2 and number 1 4-3 defensive playbooks. But as you can see, ton of green here. As we zoom in, this one sim right here, 4th in points, 7th in pass yards, 6th in rush yards against, number 2 in sacks with 46. This is just one easy, quick sim just to get you an idea of what the kind of stats you're going to look for. But you're going to be able to win with this playbook and have great defensive numbers. So Buffalo Bills is my number 3 4-3 defensive playbook. Now let's get into number 2. Coming in at number 2, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars 4-3 defensive playbook. Now, there's something that you're going to notice about this playbook in a second that be like, it's a 4-3? Wait a minute. This playbook, number 1 in points, top 3 in sacks, potential to lead the league in sacks. Both your DNs are going to eat with double-digit sack numbers, top 5 pass defense, top 10 rush defense. Now, you can see here, look, 3-4 scheme, right? Not a 3-4 playbook, because when you look closer, 4-3 formations. There's 4 formations of 4-3. There's no 3-4 base defense. Now here's a version of a quick sim. I use the Cowboys because that's the number 1 offense we use, and their defense is kind of so-so overall wise. And look, I mean, these are top 10 points, top 10 in rush. I've seen way better in a lot of sims, but here's where it really gets interesting. Both your DNs are going to eat 21 sacks for Parsons, 20 sacks for Lawrence, leading the league in this simulation in sacks. 60 sacks. 60 sacks. This playbook is a top 1-2 winning playbook. It is right there with our number 1 playbook, which we're going to get into. It also has, they're very similar because they both say that they're 3-4, and then you look and they only have 4-3 base formations. This playbook could be number 1, and it will rival the number 1 playbook as far as stats and records and all that stuff. But I think number 1 is just a little bit better because I've seen way better seasons, sack-wise, record-wise. And you're like, Jaguars put up 60 sacks. I've seen 75 sacks put up by our number 1. So let's get into our number 1 playbook, 4-3 defense and quick sim in Madden 25. And our number 1 4-3 defensive playbook for Madden 25, and maybe the number 1 overall defense of all of Madden 25 for quick sim, is the Green Bay Packers. This playbook, number 1 in points against, number 1 against the pass, sometimes number 1 against the run, number 1 in sacks. I've seen seasons where we've had 75 sacks. Like, that's insane. We've seen 16-1 seasons using this playbook. It's just great overall for stat stuffing. Both your DNs are going to have monster seasons. I think it's a little bit more consistent and way better than Jacksonville. And as you can see, same thing as Jacksonville. Says 3-4, but look, has a 5-2 and 4-4-3 formations. And then a lot of green here, keeping your offense on time. This is just one example. Sometimes you're going to get all greens for your defensive stats. Look at this. You have a pass rusher like Micah Parsons. He's going to lead the league in sacks and probably Defensive Player of the Year. We've seen Rashawn Gary have really good numbers too. 55 total sacks, leading the league in the simulation with 55. Not the 60 that we saw with the Jaguars, but I'm telling you, even got some interceptions here, 15, probably top 5 in the league this season. So these are my top 3 defensive playbooks. I think the Packers is the best. Jaguars is right there. Bills a little bit further behind. You can say Jaguars or Packers, but I think Packers are a little bit more consistent, being in the top 3 of stats. And you're not going to be in the green in all of the stats for defense. Like, you have to understand, like, if you're number 1 in pass, you might be in the middle, maybe top 9, top 10 in rush. Like, there's a balance. And if you score a lot, that might affect your pass numbers against, because teams have to throw against you. So you have to be understanding of what you're going to get. You can't just have number 1s across the board, number 1 offense, pass offense, rush defense points. Like, you're not going to be top 5 everything for offensive defense. But as far as defense goes, I mean, you're going to win a lot of championships using the Packers Jaguars defense, coupled with my other video for top 3 offenses, which my number 1 is the Cowboys. If you want to see some other playbooks you can use, because everyone's tired of using the Cowboys offense, I got that for you. But this is what you should be rocking with. Let me know if you have different results. Now, the Packers might be the number 1 overall defense in all of Madden 25, like I said, but we still have to do the 3-4 defenses, and that's coming out next. I've had way more success using 3-4 defenses for my quick sims and my rebuilds, but that's also before I realized the Packers and the Jaguars were really 4-3 playbooks. The Bills I had success with, it just didn't win any championships with. For whatever reason, Jalen Hurts wasn't great in the playoffs using the Bills. I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not, But we didn't win any championships when I had Jalen Hurts as my quarterback, and then I got a new quarterback, and all of a sudden we started winning championships. So there might be something there. Who knows? Anyway, tell me what you think. I'd love to hear your results. Are you using the Packers, the Jaguars, the Bills? Do you think there's a better playbook than one of these 3? I love your comments. And if you want to come back to this video and be like, oh yeah, man, I used the Packers, led the league in sacks or whatever numbers you have, had a 16-1 season, had a 17-0 season, I want to hear it. So there you go. Good luck. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you next time where we're going to go over the best 3-4 defenses in all of Madden 25. Later, guys.